Hello everyone, I'm gonna be trying to make a little bit different video here, so I will basically be commentating on some gameplay and talking about this aircraft. There's gonna be some pauses and I might stutter a bit, but I will try to articulate myself as clearly as I can, because I'm obviously not a native English speaker and I haven't really done much of these commentaries before, but we'll see how it goes. And feel free to comment if you think this is a good idea, if you want to see some aircraft, or you have ideas for different styles of videos. But yeah, anyways, today's topic is the Javelin, and I think it's a kind of interesting aircraft. You see me spraying here, but talking about this aircraft, it's kind of interesting as you have some of the best loadout for the battle rating. Very heavy armament with the 4 of the Aiden cannons, and like you can see, they are a bit of a spray and pray weapon, as they are mounted really far apart and far away from your nose, so precise shot can be hard. But on the other hand, you also have these fire streak missiles, 4 of them, and you can see here at about 2 kilometers I launch. We're about 6,000 meters and it connects quite easily, so these are a bit of an upgrade over the Mk.9, but they're still fairly limited. But especially at high altitude, you can hit the shots quite reliably on them if the enemy is not maneuvering that much. So now I go ahead again with the Mk.9. I spray quite a bit and he does end up exploding. Not much interesting ends up happening in the rest of this game, so let's move on. So going over more about the strengths of this aircraft, like I said, your loadout is actually very solid, but you are at 8.0, so that will come at a price, and one of those prices you can see right here. The speed bleed in turns is quite immense. You have these huge wings. Your maneuverability is actually not terrible, but kind of what makes it terrible is the speed bleed. If you do a full half turn, you're all out of speed, and obviously then you cannot really keep engaging in a dogfight because you bleed your speed in a single turn. So what I found is the best use for this aircraft is to be quote-unquote a support aircraft, because you have very good loadout and you can actually be really dangerous if you place yourself in the right spot at the right time and kind of third party the fights with your teammates. Right here you can see the fire streak is just unable to track at their speeds, and I cannot pull in for the shot either. So I one turn behind this Mk.9 because he's basically dead. I just go vertical and keep my ascent very shallow. I don't do harsh movements to maintain my speed, because the thing is, this plane does actually have quite powerful engines and a quite good climb rate, but that means that you have to be going perfectly straight, and as soon as you start doing a little bit of maneuvers, the climb rate and speed will be bleeding away. So I kind of carefully get some of my altitude back there and start positioning myself again to look for a third party engagement. And here there is this Mk.9 and Oregon. I'm just basically looking here for an opportunity to dive when they are at low speeds, not focusing low energy, and that's it right here with this Mk.9 going vertical. turning in front of me. He's not going too fast, but the missile still misses him. But luckily I do get him with my guns. So that's like exactly the bread and butter of this plane, you know, being a support to your team, picking out those easy kills with your good firepower. But in a dogfight, most of the single engine fighters at your tier will absolutely hand your ass to you. So with this in mind, I usually do start my battles with around 10 minutes of fuel, because I find that's quite enough. These afterburning engines are actually pretty efficient and you don't burn too much fuel, and 10 minutes is usually enough. But either way, I usually like to start my battles with a slight climb. I get my starting altitude to around 4k, because not many people climb at this tier, and 4k will actually often place you in kind of an overwatch position, because the main fight usually takes place in the deck at this tier. So here I'm just kind of looking around for targets, and I see this Vator in front of me, and the thing is, at this altitude, like I said earlier, the fire streaks actually become quite potent, and I start locking him up here, give her a little bit of pre-lead to the missile, and he's kind of just flying straight, and the missile doesn't have too much problems connecting. So now with him out of the way, I don't really see many other people up here. So I just kind of slowly descend. You will rip at around what was it, like 1050 IAS, so you're not super fast but not super slow either. But in a dive like this, the engines will actually quite fast push you up to the rip limits, but you have quite cute air brakes that I use here. So these missiles will not track, I'm just kind of limit testing them here. And you know, 1 kilometer, the Saber starts pulling, the missile is not gonna hit if he dodges it. I'm just kind of sticking behind him for now, sending some strays his way. I'm still looking around here. This A4E flying past me, I just try to lead. You know, this plane is quite fat, but I still managed to hit him. And I wish I kind of had more of a dogfight footage, but the reality is just this thing does suck in a dogfight. And I could sugarcoat it and pick some situations where I win someone in a dogfight, but the truth is, if you win someone in a dogfight with this plane, they're almost always doing something very wrong, or they just are so out of position that it doesn't really matter. You know, here my missile does not lock, but with the Aidens you can actually hit some shots like this fairly consistently, because the burst mass is just so high. But here again, this is kind of the position I want to be in, a little bit above everyone, because if you are on the deck, you know, one turn you are out of speed and you're basically dead, because this thing does not accelerate super fast. Here I kind of try to drop on this CL, but he raises his nose and I just can't hit the shot. Here I turn after this Panther next, but I see a Saber on my 6 and he will eventually catch me. But meanwhile I do send one more missile to this Panther. And in this kind of situation with the F2 Saber behind you in this plane, you know, there's not much you can do. I try to go down low, you know, this full turn, put my air brakes, but as I wait, I actually do end up crashing, because this thing does not just pull very well, and even if I didn't crash, I was pretty much dead there. So, in conclusion, I think it's kind of an okay aircraft at what it does, but you just like have to understand that you are not a dogfighter. You really don't win 1v1s. You just have to make use of your guns and the missiles. You might do okay, but personally I did end up kind of dying a lot in this aircraft because it's maybe not my cup of tea after all, because you kind of do rely on having teammates alive, or in other situations you have to rely that your enemy is just not very good. You know, when those two things come together, this thing can be a menace, but overall it's a kind of mixed bag, and I know some people like it and some hate it, but I think it's okay at what it does. But yeah, I recommend still to try it out. It's sort of a unique experience at this tier, kind of middle ground. But yeah, if you like this type of video, just say it. If you want a similar type of video talking about another plane, just say it. And yeah, see you.